Shalom Yashrala, this your brother Dawada, coming back at you with the sincere truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Ruach HaKodesh. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, I can push this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So I want to jump into this here lesson real quick, as an update on basically the mark of the beast, the times that we're in now, all right? So I'm going to let this here video play for about 2 or 3 minutes, and we're going to jump into some scriptures, all right?
Long held up New Zealand as the model for how to properly deal with a lot of things, including COVID. But anyone who loves freedom should take note, because the Kiwis have a terrifying new response to rising COVID case numbers. They're throwing people into quarantine camps.
If someone refuses in our facilities to be tested.
And just, quickly off the top, this video is not for the simple-minded people. This is for the sincere elect, all right? The elect, but the sincere occupant that's out there, because some people will be like, they stumble over little words and little small things like that. Oh, it's a quarantine camp, not a concentration camp or whatnot. But nevertheless, we know what this is all about, all right? It's up to you to take heed to these things. If you don't want to believe it, that's on you, all right? These things are at the door right now.
They have to keep staying. So they won't be able to leave after 14 days. They have to stay on for another 14 days. So it's a pretty good incentive. You either get your tests done and make sure you're cleared, or we will keep you in a facility longer. So I think most people will look at that and say, I'll take the test.
No leaving the camp until you're negative. The left's other COVID role model, the EU, is taking equally drastic measures. They're requiring government officials to use thermal imaging cameras designed by a Chinese company, the same one that provides surveillance equipment to the concentration camps that they call re-education camps for the Uyghur Muslims. Joining me now is Victor Davis Hanson, Hoover Institution Senior Fellow. Victor, are these the type of scenarios we're going to be facing under a Biden administration?
Yeah, it's frightening. I mean, here the virus started in China, it was spread from China, and now China is offering the West the methodology and technology of fascism to supposedly cure what they started. It reminds me of Crassus in Rome. He had the private fire brigade. He pulled up when a fire was devouring a house, and he said,
real quick, not to get caught up again, in the little small distractions there. Oh, it's from China, this and that, the Chinese disease and all these things. What you have to understand is what scriptures say in Revelation chapter 13, that he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive this here mark. All right. Which is going to be a global thing that's going to be implemented. All right. And again, we're not saying that these vaccines are the mark of the beast. That's not what we're saying at all. All right. We're just saying that this is what is going to lead to the mark of the beast. These are the phases that we're seeing going towards there. All right.
For a price, I'll be willing to put your fire out, but better yet, I'll buy it at rock bottom prices. That's what the Chinese, that whole technology and methodology, I guess, is seen in the West by, but it's also bizarre because we're not in an ascending pattern. We're having 1 million tests per day almost, so we're bound to have more cases, but the cases are mostly asymptomatic. They're more younger. The death rate is going back down. The therapeutics, medicines are improving. The vaccination is on the horizon. It's not the time to double down on this lockdown, and it begs a question, why are these people doing these things? And
now, again, they're about to go into something that should make, the normal-minded person think, like, yo, what the fuck is really going on here? All right? Because, some people think that, this is reactions for this or that or whatever, precautions for certain things. But you have to understand this is an agenda, all right, that's been going on from way before now. All right? I'm not going to say that. I did a video. That video got taken down. Agenda 2045. Go YouTube it, right? But nevertheless, continuing on.
In the case of New Zealand, they have a nation of 5 million people. They've only lost, tragically, but they've lost 25 people. That's an astounding low number to throw away personal freedom.
And we can stop there, all right? They talk about in New Zealand, I forgot how many people they said they had, like 5 million people or something like that, but only 25 people died, and they're taking these extreme measures to have these quarantine camps and everything like that. All right. So you have to understand that, these things is preparing for something a lot bigger. All right. They're not trying to, know, you have to ask yourself from a business perspective. If you was a business owner, all right, just like let's say you own a restaurant or something like that, right? Now, inside the restaurant, let's say you have some freak accident, right? Somebody comes in the restaurant, maybe they get sick, and let's say they throw up or they got the runs all through your restaurant. Now, your restaurant smells like, you know, these bodily fluids and, you know, it stank up in there or whatever, whatnot. What do you do at that point in time? Do you sell your restaurant, burn the building down or whatever, whatnot, or you just clean it up and, you know, it's well, you know, you don't take all these far extreme measures for something that's going to be a small temporary, you know, something that's going to be there temporary, you know, just like, you know, your car's starting to run out of gas. You don't go get rid of your car for those scenarios, you know. These people, for, you know, 25 people that wind up dying over there, they're about to spend all this here money investing on these here quarantine centers or whatever, whatnot, all these vaccinations and everything like that. Like, bro, only 25 people died, cuz like more people died than that from getting hit by cars or drunk driving, man. They're not over here banning cars or alcohol or anything like that, all right? So, you know, you have to have the spirit of discernment to understand that this is not just some, you know, weird coincidence that this just happened or whatever, whatnot, you know? All right, things are definitely serious right now, man. All right, this is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3. It says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it shall surely come and it will not tarry, all right? And really, you know, we at the point now where it's no arguing. No, it's, you know, we didn't told you a billion times over and over and over and over and over again what these things are. I mean, if you don't want to believe these things or you want to still say like they say in, let me grab that real quick, because this is something that our people have in the back of their minds, you know, and they're going to have this same thought in their mind process until their ass is dead, man. All right. This is 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 3. Knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers walking after their own lusts. Now we could just stop right there. All right. Now, you've been in this here truth, man. You have to get to a certain point where you just be like, fuck him, man. I told you that's your point. That's your problem now. You go back to Ezekiel, what is that? Ezekiel 3 and 17. All right. Your job is just to give them warning. You don't have to get your panties all up in a bunch of these people don't want to believe this, whether it be your relatives or whoever, whatnot, your wife or whoever it is, man. They don't want to believe it. Fuck them. Let them die. Eat a missile, man. Because there's nothing you're going to be able to really do to change their mind anyway, man. Your job is only just to warn them, man. All right. So let me read this again. 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 3. Knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers walking after their own lust and saying, where is the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of creation. All right. And to pair that also with no man knoweth the day or the hour. You know, most people that say that, they misquote that, right? They'll say, no man know the time, so on and so forth, right? Well, the scriptures say no man know the day or the hour. But you have to ask yourself, what the hell is Matthew chapter 24 about? What is Luke chapter 21 about? What is all the prophets talking about, man? All right, what is Revelation 13? Well, we're going to get to that. What are these things talking about? Why does the Most High give us these prophecies? What is a prophecy? All right, it's something that they're telling you before time. Why does the Most High give us all, like, when you really look at the scriptures and stuff like that, the majority of the scriptures is prophecies, right? All right, and what are they talking about? These last days, right? Why would the Most High tell us about all these different signs, and if nobody was going to know about these things? What was the point of telling us the signs? All right, so we can understand, which we're going to grab that next. Let me just finish this here point first. 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 3, and knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers walking after their own lusts and saying, where's the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things to continue as they were from the beginning of creation. Now, let me pair this right back with this real quick. Habakkuk 2 and 3, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. You know, a lot of people, but they've been talking about the mark of the beast since I was a kid, the end of the world and everything like that, and so on and so forth. You know, you tell people now, I'm like, yo, man, being in this truth, we damn near at the end of all these prophecies, man. This is the end all be all, man. You about to meet the Lord real soon. Like, oh, but you don't know that. No man know the day or the hour. Like, motherfucker, see, that's when you have to understand it. Like, yo, knowing in these last days is going to come scoffers. Like, if these niggas don't realize that you living through these tribulations right here, right now, all right, because there's going to be some great tribulations at the end of the world and blah, 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 blah. Like, what the fuck you think 2020 was about, man? this wasn't just in your little local small town neighborhood where you live at. This is a global situation, bro. All right. Not just the COVID situation. You know, you got the uprisings of the people, all these prophecies, man, like we're reading, for the visions yet for an appointed time, man. All right. All these things are starting to happen. He's speaking loud and clear, man. All right. So what if some don't believe, man? That make the, let me grab that real quick. What is that? I mean, really, for time's sake, this is Romans 3:3. For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of the Most High without effect? All right, bro, you living in the tribulations right now. They're setting up the stage for the mark of the beast right now, man. All right, they're about to start throwing you into these, we'll call them re-education camps. Okay, we got to be kind of careful how we make these videos on this here topic. That's what happened on my other channel. They took it down for talking about this, right? But again, that should be a warning to you, because look, we've been saying the same thing since I done came into the truth and started putting videos up. I think my very first video was about the mark of the beast. But nevertheless, you know, it's that time right now where we at, man. So these prophecies are speaking loud and clear, man. All right, so what if some don't believe? What if they ignorant? Oh, well, you know, no man know the day or the hour, blah, blah, blah. Hey, fuck it, man. This is only for the sincere elect, man. We out here warning you, we blowing the trumpet. You know, I had somebody the other day tell me, oh, we ain't in the end of the days. We ain't heard no trumpets being blown. I'm like, you such a fool. The trumpet is blowing loud and clear in your motherfucking face right now, breaking all this shit down to you. And you waiting to hear the loud ass sound out the sky, man. Like, there's no hope for your ass, man. You completely missed the bus. All right. So going back, let me see who trying to grab. Oh yeah. Let me go to the book of. No, we're not gonna grab that. Let me get back to where I was going in the lesson. So let me go to 2nd Ezra chapter 9. Well, we just read in Habakkuk 2, the vision is yet for an appointed time, right? I was going to grab Amos, what is that, chapter 3? And let me find it. For the Lord will do it, none but reveals his secrets to his servants, the prophets, right? Yeah, Amos 3:7. Surely Yahweh power will do nothing but reveal his secrets to his servants, the prophets, right? And we're out here telling you what these things are, these secrets, these mysteries of why all these things are happening, man. All right, and you seeing it unfold as we telling you these things now more than ever. It's not like you have to listen to what the hell we telling you and believe it off faith, and then hopefully 2-3 years down the road you're gonna see it. No, we telling you as it's happening in real time right now, man. All right. So now let's go over to the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 9. All right. So we were reading in Habakkuk 2, the vision is yet for an appointed time, right? 2nd Ezra 9:1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I told thee before. All right, we see these signs. Again, go back to the question I asked earlier. Why the hell do we have all these scriptures about the end times and the prophecies in Matthew 24 and Luke 21 and all over throughout the scriptures, man? Why do we have all these things about in the last days? This was going to be happening. These things going to be happening and all these different things. Why do we have these scriptures like this? Let me read verse 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then thou shalt understand that the Most High spake of those things that were before thee, even from the beginning. Why the hell was the Most High? Wait, let me read the next one. For like all that is made in the world at the beginning and the end is manifest. So why the hell do we have all this written down if nobody's going to understand, or not understand, but the Most High not going to tell us when the end all be all is going to come, man? All right. So if you get stuck in that mind state because you just really want to cleave on to this, you don't want to really turn into the Most High, man. Hey, you're going to die in your own folly, man. But for the sincere ones out there, man, hey, these prophecies are speaking loud and clear. Let me go back to verse 1, 2nd Ezra 9:1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I told thee before, then thou shalt understand it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. All right. And pretty much that's all we got to read there. You know, I read down a little further, but nevertheless, oh, man, I could read this as well, too. But, you know, they're going to have to learn after death by pain anyway. We read that enough. This is basically focusing in on what's going on in that video we watched, right? So now let's go from there. I was going to go in the blue letter, but we good here. Revelation chapter 13, let's start at verse 15. All right. It says, Revelation 13:15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, and the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. right? Now, going into the beast, you know, this is the revival of the Roman Empire, which you would understand it today is basically NATO and the EU, right? Now, when you deal with like the United Nations, right? The United Nations isn't per se the beast, more or less to say, all right, but it's like an extension of it, right? Because you got some nations in there that ain't necessarily part of it. They have, but when you understand that basically America is ruling over top of that, that's how they, you know, put out their laws over all these other nations. Like if you see, like if America, I forgot what they call it, they have their own, they can pretty much sanction anything, or not sanction, they could veto. They have basically a veto power, right? There's only a couple of nations that can do that, right? Veto any and everything, right? And they can sit there and be like, you know, whenever the atrocities happen to the Palestinians, they just basically get up and they walk out, or whatever happens to Iran, they get up and they walk out, like, oh, we ain't hearing this shit. But then something happened to one of their allies, and then they make a big ass deal about it. That's another part of their arm. But under these guys and these systems of like the UN and the World Health Organization and things like that, you know, they're going to be pushing out these mandates about, you know, these health requirements and things like that, being able to go inside your job, get groceries, wherever you live. You know, they have laws already right now, like, oh, if you live with other people or whatever, whatnot, and everybody in your house ain't tested, or your kids ain't tested, they're liable to come and take your kids because you're endangering them, or so on and so forth. You know, they have these things going on right now, all right? But nevertheless, we see as they're in that video how they're talking about how they have these, we'll call them again, re-education camps. You go in there, you don't want to get tested or whatever. First of all, you get put in there because you don't want to get a vaccine, you don't want to get tested or whatever, whatnot. They keep you in there. For what reason? It's not really to monitor you to see if you get better, because whether you better or you're not better, if you don't want to take the test or whatever, whatnot, or get your little situation on, you're going to still be there indefinite until you basically submit unto them. All right. So, and then ultimately we understand what they're going to want to do to you with that. You know, they got these guillotines and everything already. All right. Trying to be careful how I word a lot of these things so this here video will go out. But we've been saying it for so long, over the many years, man, you should be able to connect the dots. All right. Revelation 13 and 15 or 16. And he calls it all. All right. And this is why you're starting to see these things being rolled out throughout the whole world right now, man. All right. They talking about over there in New Zealand with, like, I forgot what they said, a population of like 5 million. All right. Which, shit, the majority of the states in America got a bigger population than 5 million. You know, there's a lot of cities in America that's got a population, not a lot, but you have some major cities that have a population bigger than 5 million. We talking about New Zealand itself. You know what I'm saying? Where they had 25 people die from the whole COVID situation. You know, now let's just say COVID didn't even happen. There would have been more than 25 people that would have died of either natural causes, like DUIs, committing suicide, drug overdoses, getting into fights and accidental accidents, workplace accidents, and all kind of things like that. But they're not trying to stop any of those things or implement way new systems for these things. All right. This is something completely different. All right. So let me read that again. Revelation 13 and 16. And he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. All right. And you see on the news and things like that, you have this one big computer mogul guy talking about how beyond the healthcare workers and things like that, you know, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans need to be the first ones to get this here shot, quote unquote, right? But nevertheless, you know, they're targeting who? You Israelites first and foremost, all right? Let me read that again. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or on their foreheads. All right. Now, like I said, we have plenty of videos going into exactly what the mark of the beast is. All right. We're not telling you that this vaccine is the mark of the beast or whatever, whatnot. All right. But nevertheless, you know, we've gone into this here word, which is charagma, which, you know, is etching in the skin. All right. And which they're going to do by way of like a palisade, or a stake, you know, which is akin to like a syringe. All right, and not saying that again, not saying that that's that little shot that they're gonna give you, but they can implement this little device the same way. All right. Verse 16 again, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or on their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that have the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 636. All right, going into that, you know, the origins of it was that UPC code, you know, Universal Product Code, which was a forerunner, a test thing basically for tracking, you know, all the items in the store when they come in and out. Where we're about to get on this Internet 2.0, the Internet of Things, and also tracking you. All right, just like how Walmart is pretty much an experiment All right. The whole reason you have Walmart is an experiment for logistics for shipping military equipment. All right. Because they have an on-demand type thing where they can ship throughout the whole continental U.S. on a certain type of way or whatever, whatnot. This is how, the whole backdrop to that, just like your damn video games, Call of Duty and things like that. That was for training for the people who do drones in the military. The newest Grand Theft Auto, they use that little engine for these self-driving cars and things like that. All right, they just hide it inside of these little so-called luxury things, but just like if you understand AI, they have to have something to learn from, right? But continuing on, let's go to Revelation 14 and 9. Yeah, Revelation 14 verse 9, and this is what's going to happen if you take that chip. Revelation 14 verse 9, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in their forehead or in his hand. All right, you following after all these situations or whatever, whatnot. You just and you so in belief of this whole situation and everything like that, man. You're like, oh no, because ultimately this is what you're doing, because you go into that word mark for or charagma for the word mark. It goes, one of the parts that they talk about is like, back in the olden days, people would brand themselves with the general or their slave master, whoever they, or even their gods who they served. All right. So it's like, what, were you going to serve this here system? You're going to believe on this here system to save you? Or are you going to have faith in the Lord for him to save you? All right. Verse 10, the same shall, because this is the ultimate test of faith, man. All right. How are we going to eat? We're going to starve to death. Well, you're going to depend on this here system, this here government or whatever, whatnot to feed you and save you in those days. You're going to have faith in the Lord, Verse 10, and the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. Straight, no chaser. There ain't no cutting, no, you at the bar taking shots. They normally have a chaser with that, to cut it a little bit, But nevertheless, hey, this is poured out without mixture, man. It's straight, no chaser, man. All right. It says, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they had no rest day nor night, who worshiped the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. All right, here's the patience of the saints. And here's the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High and the faith of Yahushua. All right. Hey, patience going into what? Long suffering. All right. And that's one of the things you have to sit there and endure. All right. This is Revelation 3 and 10. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience. All right. That long suffering. All right. I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. All right. So, through the Spirit, I wanted that precept too, but let me grab another precept. It says, let me read that again, Revelation 3 and 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, key word, all the world, to try them that dwell upon the earth. Now, we just read about, he calls all to receive a mark in their forehead or in their hand, all both small and great. This is going to come upon the whole world. All right. So, hey, you got to keep the word of the Most High. You have to have faith in him. All right. See if I can find this other one. Yep. Revelation 2 and 10. All right. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. All right. Or these re-education camps, that you may be tried, and you shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. All right, because you might be in there like that lady was saying in the video. Hey, man, well, you're going to stay in here until you get this here vaccine or this here shot or whatever, whatnot, And then they might be telling you all kind of things. You'll never see your kids again. They're going to be given to the state, so on and so forth. You're never going to get out. We're going to wind up starving you to death, killing you or whatever, whatnot. Hey, man, if so, let it be, man. All right, let me close out with this. This is Romans. Romans 8 and 17. Let me read from 16. The Spirit itself bear witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. And if children, then heirs of the Most High, and joint heirs with Hamashiach. If so that we suffer with him, that we may also be glorified together. So let me read the next one. For I reckon that the suffering of this present time is not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. All right, so if we want to be joint heirs with Yahushua, we have to basically suffer with them, you know. Not everybody the elect is going to have to be, you know, cast into these prisons and put to death or anything like that, man. All right, because ultimately, you know, this is the time when the Lord is going to save us and deliver us. We have plenty of scriptures about how the Lord is going to keep his elect, man. They're going to be laughing, drinking, eating, and you know, being joyful of heart. You know, you can read that Isaiah 65, man. All right, but nevertheless, some of us, all right, Lord willing, I'm a part of that number, you know, the elect, you know, some of us going to be cast into these prisons, man, cast into these internment camps or whatever, whatnot, man. All right, you're going to be tried for a certain amount of time, man, but keep that faith, man. You know, they, you know, oh, well, you know, you got to take this here, blah, 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 so on and so forth for this and that. Hey, man, we had the things that was written aforetime was written for I learned and I understand. We have, how do I say, plenty of examples of our forefathers being thrown into prisons, man, and coming back out better than where they were beforehand, man. The Lord delivered them, man. All right. You know, you could read about Daniel in the lion's den, Joseph. You know, so we have plenty of examples, man. All right. But nevertheless, this is why we're supposed to be reading. Blessed is he that readeth. All right. And with all that, get understanding, because while wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of that time, man. All right. And we're right here at these days, man. All right. So, you know, we have to take this here thing serious, man, as we see these things coming to pass. So, Lord willing, you was edified with this here lesson. Until next time, I say, call halal Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, the great millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, Akim, pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Till next time, I say, stay strong. Shalom.